Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to today's video, which is the start of my second weekly vlog for May. So currently my first week's vlog is I have to save it in parts. So the first part is saving, so I'll have to get back to editing that later, but I thought I would come on and start the second week's vlog. So today is Monday the 8th, is it the 8th today, of May, which is a bank holiday here in the UK because of the King's coronation. At the weekend, King Charles III was coronated and it was a lovely ceremony. I really enjoyed it. As a lover of history, it was definitely a moment in time that I was really glad to witness. So yeah, wonderful. The pile of books I have to read is quite a stack, but it's not as bad as it looks. So this is a stack of books for this week's TBR, mostly from my Bookgammon TBR, but also a buddy read in there as well. Now the first book is obviously this one, left over from last week's TBR. I am partly way through it. I'm a little bit more through it than I was at the end of last week's vlog, because I have been reading this while I've been editing. So while I'm saving bits or uploading bits while editing, I have been picking this up and reading it. I still have about 100, maybe 90 pages left to go. This is The Highlander's Runaway Bride by Terry Brisbane. We have a it's set in obviously Scotland, and a girl called Eva has been betrothed to a man from another clan, arranged by her father, and she has just given birth to a baby girl from a relationship that she had that she wasn't supposed to have had, and this is her father's way of getting control of her and making her do as she's told, kind of thing. It's very much if you don't like reading about, you know, women being controlled by men and being beaten for not doing as they're told, this probably is not a book for you. There is obviously some patriarchal kind of issues in here, but not from our main character, who is a man called Rob McIntosh, and he is the man that she is betrothed to. And yeah, he kind of, it's very interesting, and I am really enjoying it. But I'm just waiting for the smut to kick in, just waiting for that smut. But he's obviously taking his time with her, and he's not pushing her until she's ready, because he can sense that there is something that she's not telling him. So he is biding his time with her. He wants to be with her. He wants to be with her. His body wants to be with her, but he is holding back because he knows that if he forces her, it is not good, and he doesn't want to be that kind of man. He's aware that she may have had these issues. It's really good. I am enjoying it. So that's the first book I need to finish. Then I need to move on to the second novella in the Skyward Flight book, which is Redawn. I have obviously read Sunreach, which was the first novella, so I need to read Redawn. I think that's only about 160, 170 pages as well, so that will hopefully be a quick read. And then once I finish that, I can move on to Cytonic, which is the third book in the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. And then after that, I can move on to the third novella in this bind-up, which is Evershore. So those are going to be like my two big reads for this week. Hopefully, because I'm breaking this up into the novellas, it shouldn't be too hard to get through this. And then this one is actually one of Brandon Sanderson's like smallest books. his Skyward books are not as big as his kind of like Cosmere Universe books, so hopefully we can get through that. And then my buddy read for this month, we're gonna start The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. I am buddy reading this with my good friend Charlotte. This is again one of the shorter books in the Throne of Glass series, so hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to get through. It's only just over 400 pages. I do also have the audiobook for this one, and this one is also, I believe it's like broken up into shorter stories. So yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of short stories in here, so it's broken up into 5. So it should be quite easy to get through. So yeah, I have that one to read as a buddy read with my good friend Charlotte. And then the other 2 books I have on here, I have Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Obviously, this being a graphic novel, shouldn't take me too long to read. It is a bit of a chunker of a graphic novel, so it may take me more than just an afternoon. May take me a little bit longer than that, but it should be a fairly quick read. And then last but not least, I thought I would pick this up. This is Tales of Unease by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And this is literally short stories. I had already read one and my bookmark was in there. But I may have to reread that one. And what I'm thinking is just basically reading one of these every night before I go to bed, and get through it like that. I'm gonna take the thing out and start from the first one again, I think. Oh, there is 1, 2, 15. There's 15 short stories in here, so I may end up having to either read 2 a night to get it finished this week, or this may carry into next week if I end up only reading 1 a night. So that is my stack of books to read. We shall see how I get on. But yeah, plans for this week. I don't really have much to do this week. I don't have anywhere that I'm going, so it might be a very short sort of this is what I'm reading and this is what I think of it kind of vlog. Just thought I would start the vlog, and now I've got to go get back to my editing. Hi, so I've just finished filming some Project Pan updates, so I figured I would come in and give you an update on my reading. It is Wednesday today, Wednesday about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I finished yesterday, was it yesterday? Day before? No, finished Monday night. Terry Brisbane's The Highlander's Runaway Bride. I gave it 5 stars. Guys, I loved it. I loved the characters, I loved the plot, I loved the whole emotional journey of this book. Is it great literature? Absolutely not. It's Mills and Boon. But I thoroughly had a great time. It was exactly what I needed, exactly what I wanted, and it finished and ended in a way that I thought was really good and really satisfactory to me. So when I was thinking about my score, normally I don't give these higher than maybe a 3.5, 4 stars if it's exceptionally good. But when I went to rate this, I just felt like 4 wasn't giving it a justice. So thoroughly enjoyed this, really, really did. Our forced marriage was just, it was beautifully written. That's what I want to say. Like, he didn't force himself on her, even though he found her highly attractive, and you know, he sleeping in the same bed but not touching. Oh, anyway, but he was so kind to her and so considerate of her. And then even when there was like conflict, it was resolved in such a beautiful, touching way, and not like a touching way, you know, touching, but like in such a touching way, that I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it was beautiful. How many more times can I say I loved it? I then yesterday read the first book again. Not the first book, the first story in the Tales of Unease. I had read it before, but I couldn't remember a damn thing. It was like reading it brand new again. The Ring of Thoth. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thoth, I don't know. By Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And I did enjoy it. Was it scary? No. I think if I was a Victorian lady, which was probably when these were written, I don't know, were they in Victorian times? But yeah, if I was a lady of the time and I read this story in the newspaper or whatever it was published, as most often these types of stories were at that time, I would have probably been a little thrilled by what happened. But as a woman of the 21st century, not so much. So I'm going to try and continue on with these. Try and get a bit more of it read today. It shouldn't take me the end of the week. I should hopefully get it finished by the end of the week. And then I also read some of the second novella in the Skyward Flight bind-up, which is Redawn. I have about 72 pages left of this, so hopefully it should get Redawn finished today as well. I am enjoying it. Again, we are following a different character, but the crew, the Skyward crew that we're following throughout the majority of the Skyward series is still there. But we're getting new characters, new political intrigues, and there's something definitely going on with some of the characters, where they seem to be acting out of character, and I feel like there's something going on there. I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but there's something definitely happening with some of the characters acting out of character, and yeah, so I'm intrigued as to find out what's happening there. I do hope that in Cytonic we do go back to Spencer, because I'm kind of missing her a little bit. But these are definitely following the flight crew that she was a part of, and I'm quite enjoying it. I am really enjoying it. So yeah, so I'm hopefully going to finish Redawn today, read a couple more of these today. Reason why I didn't update you yesterday was I didn't do much reading. I just basically watched a lot of Disney vlogs, to be honest. Plus also my mental health is dropping, so we're coming up to my daughter's birthday and I'm just struggling. So I've still got to write her birthday card out, but anyway, that's a me thing to do. So yeah, so now that I've got those project pan videos filmed, I'm probably gonna go and start editing them, maybe. Also, I started listening to The Assassin's Blade while I was doing my makeup this morning. So I started listening to that as well, so I've got a bit of that read, but I don't know how far through we are. But yeah, I'm gonna probably go edit the videos that I've just filmed so I can get them scheduled for the days that they need to go up. Hopefully get them up on time. I do still need to do a reading wrap up for April, but I might film that tomorrow. Or should I do it today while I've got my makeup on? Because the closer it gets to the 15th, the less, no. You know what? I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to put my makeup on and I'm going to film my reading wrap up tomorrow so that I have something to focus on. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Because I refuse to allow myself to give in to the depression. I'm going to fight it. It's not going to pull me down. I'm going to keep going. This could backfire. This could be a bad thing. But we're going to fight it. We're going to fight it. I may also do my nails because they need doing. They're chipping badly now. So I may even paint my nails. So you may get some footage of that as well. So yeah, but that's it. That's my update. I'm going to go edit my videos. Probably be picking this up or read on while I edit, while I wait for my edits to save and stuff, and hopefully get them finished today. So that is my update for you. So I will see you in the next clip. So I am here to wrap up this vlog. I don't think I vlogged much this week, and I say that because this is now Tuesday of the next week. The life of someone struggling with depression. So yeah, last week my mood dropped a hell of a lot. My depression got the better of me, and it was not a great week, I have to say, but we're past the worst of it now, so onwards and upwards from here on in. So I don't know when I spoke to you last, but let's go through all the books that I did manage to finish this week. So I believe I did update you on the fact that I finished The Highlander's Runaway Bride by Terry Brisbane, and I did end up giving this 5 stars. I really loved this one. I love the characters, I love the storyline, and it kind of pulled at my heartstrings a little bit near the end as well. I just loved the whole experience of this book. So it got 5 stars. I then read the second book in the Skyward Flight bind-up, so that was Redawn. So I am now this far through it, and so what's left here is the third novella, which is Evershore, which I will read after I've read Cytonic, because I did not read Cytonic this week, which I did plan to do, but my mind wasn't there. So I did get Redawn read. I did really enjoy it. I am not giving each of these novellas a individual score. I will give the star rating to the whole book once I finished it, but I did really enjoy it. I loved the introduction of a new character, or an alien race, I suppose, and getting to know more about those beautiful, adorable slugs and space slugs, not like earthly slugs, space slugs. Yeah, I'm really getting into this story now. I can't wait to actually move on to Cytonic, which I will be reading this week. So you'll see that in next week's vlog, hopefully, because I'm really getting into this storyline. So yeah, finished Redawn. And then, as I say, I was starting to drop, and I began to realise at this point, I think it was about halfway through the week, I wasn't finishing anything, and I wasn't close to finishing anything, so I thought I would quickly pick up Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Can you see it better if I put it that side? This is the, as I say, volume 4 of a graphic novel about these two boys who are in a male-male relationship, and it's a very wholesome, lovely kind of graphic novel. It does deal with some hard-hitting issues, but I feel like they're solved, not solved, but dealt with in the perfect way. So it reads to me a little bit like, this is how we wish the world would react in this situation, and for me that just doesn't read true to life. I'd like a little bit more grittiness in this story. It rated about a 3 stars for me. I know, unpopular opinion, but I just like a little bit more angst and a little bit more grittiness to my story. Maybe not teenage angst, which this does deal with teenagers, but I know that being a teenager isn't easy, and sometimes teenagers do have to deal with difficult things, and they're not always going to react in the right way. But as I say, this sort of feels like this is what we wish the world would react like. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It is what it is. I will continue the series. I will probably purchase volume 5 when that comes out later this year. So yeah. And then it was at this point that I decided to DNF this. This is Tales of Anise by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I got about halfway, you can see there. So page 108 out of 208. So just 100 pages left, so halfway through. The first couple of stories in this bind-up of short stories I did find them interesting, but about Thursday, Friday of the last week, I started to find myself starting to skim the current story that I was on. And once I start skim reading, that tells me I've already lost interest. So I tried to skip to the next story thinking, well, maybe it's just that story that I wasn't interested in. Let's skip to the next story and see if that one interests me. But again, my brain was just like, I don't care. I don't want to. I really don't want to. And as I say, my mental health was starting to drop. I was really starting to slump in my reading. So I made an executive decision. This was not great for my mental health at the time. So I have DNF'd it. I am going to take this as a full DNF now. I've already DNF'd this book once before. I got the first story read and then I stopped reading it in a previous month. But now I'm going to call it a complete DNF because I just don't care. I just don't want to read the rest of the stories in here. So unfortunately, this is a DNF. Like I say, I did enjoy the first couple of stories. They were really good. Not exactly spooky to me here living in the 21st century, but I can see how they were quite spooky in the time that they were written. So yeah, that was that one. And then next I read The Assassin's Blade, which is the Throne of Glass novellas by Sarah J. Maas. This was my buddy read for this month that I do with Charlotte every month. And I listened to the audiobook of this, so I did sort of blast through it this week. I say blast through, it still took me from Monday to Friday to Sunday to get it read. But yeah, so this is a lot of like prequel novellas to the whole Throne of Glass series. So the novellas in here happen before the first book, Throne of Glass. But I like to read them after book 5 because I feel like when I did that the first time round, I really appreciated knowing more information about Selena Sardothian, and also we kind of have heard of some of these characters that appear in this book throughout the Throne of Glass series up to book 5. So I feel like I'm like, oh, I know who you are kind of thing. And yeah, so it gives me more excitement with these novellas, reading them after book 5 rather than reading them before the first book, despite them happening chronologically before the first book. Obviously, if you decide to read them as a prequel to Throne of Glass, that is entirely up to you, but I find the experience much better after having read a couple of the books. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I do give them 5 stars. This is one of my favourite series of all time. It's a reread for me. So yeah, I managed to finish this one. And then also on my phone, because again, after I DNF'd Tales of Unease, I was again really struggling to pick up a book. So I actually picked up an ebook on my Kindle, and it is available on Kindle Unlimited. I'm just bringing it up on Goodreads. It's easier for me to tell you about it. So it's called Unpredicted Love, the Love in Lockdown Chronicles, book 2 by L.S. Pullen. So there is the cover for you. And as I say, this is book 2, and it's a love story that happens during the UK lockdown. It's set in the UK, and book 2 actually follows the best friend of the female character from book 1. So and it kind of happens at the same time as book 1 as well. So the 2 stories are actually happening at the same time, but obviously you read book 1 first and then book 2. But anyway, so we have Quinn Lawson, just left her toxic corporate job. All she needs is a little time to decompress and find herself again, and a 4-week getaway to an idyllic, beautiful cottage in Devon seems like the perfect way to do it, until she's woken up by a handsome stranger entering her bedroom. Callum Warren is on a serious time crunch with his manuscript. He needs to escape to get away from all the distractions in Camden Town. Some quiet time at his favourite writing sanctuary always does the trick. Only his plans fall flat when he discovers his home away from home was double booked. With a global pandemic and a nationwide lockdown, they both decide to stay. Their attraction quickly becomes impossible to ignore, but the unboxing of Callum's biggest secret could put an end to their connection. Will Quinn walk away from Callum, or will she hold on to this unpredicted love? So that's what the book is all about. I did give it 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It was quite funny in parts. It had some laugh out moments. There's also obviously the one bed trope, and the male protagonist Callum is such a sweetheart. He's such a true gentleman, and it was just it. Although I do like a bit of angst and a bit of grit in my love stories, in any story I read really, this really was just adorable. It was really, there was a little bit of like tension, and there was a little bit of like not grit, not angst, but there was a little bit like they were both trying to hold back a little bit. Quinn holds back because she doesn't want to get involved with anyone right now. She is trying to concentrate on herself. And Callum is holding back because of his secret, basically. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and you know what, a bit of smut never did me wrong. And it seems to me that whenever I am in a reading slump, whenever I do feel my mood dropping, a little bit of smut just raises my mood. Don't know why. But yeah, so that was my reading for this week. Yes, my mood dropped, but I was still able to finish. These 3 physical books, a novella from here, 100 pages of a DNF, and an ebook. So I still count that as quite a success. And it's still quite a chunk off my TBR for the month of May, so I'm quite happy with that. It was okay. It wasn't the worst week. Before I go, I do want to say that the JustGiving page for our fundraiser to raise money for the charity Become, who support children in foster care, in care homes, and those leaving care, the JustGiving page is now live. So I'm going to leave the link in the description box. So if you would like to donate to that charity, I would greatly appreciate it. Both me and my daughter. My daughter is the driving force of this fundraiser this year. And if you don't know the reason why we're trying to raise funds for the charity Become, it is because many years ago, when I had my mental breakdown back in 2012, I was taken into hospital for treatment for a short while, and during that time my children ended up going into foster care for a time. So helping a foster care based charity is definitely something that we feel passionate about, and the reason why we're doing it is because May the 15th is my youngest daughter's birthday. Sadly, she is not with us. She's with an adoptive family that happened because my mental health was not great, and it was decided that she would be adopted. And for many years I struggled even worse than now with my mental health during the month of May. So a few years ago I came up with the decision that if I can't buy my daughter birthday presents in May, then I would buy other children gifts, or I would give to a children's charity. And so I devised something I call Melissa's Box, which is a charitable donation to a children's charity. In the past we've done toys and books and crafting items and stuff like that. We've also given school bags full of school supplies to a charity as well. And this year I was a little bit late coming up with the decision of what to do for Melissa's Box, and my daughter suggested that we do a 10k walk. So that is what we're going to be doing before the end of June. We're going to be walking 10k to raise money for the charity Become. So if you would like to support us, then please use the link in the description box below the video. And if you do have any troubles with that link, let me know and I will send it to you. Obviously, if you can't help by donating, then that's fine. Just your support and cheering me on in my endeavour to walk 10k would be greatly appreciated. Myself, my husband, my daughter and a few of her friends and a couple of my friends are all doing the 10k walk. So yeah, very excited for it. Very scared about it, but it should be I was going to say fun, but I don't think that's the word I want to use. But it will be a proud achievement, knowing that I have done something to help children in foster care, in care homes, or who are leaving care and setting up their own home or wanting to go on to further education and things like that, that this charity helps out with. So yes, so all of that to say, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload new videos, and I will see you in the next one.